Hi, my darlings. I'm Sophie Darling, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Sophie. I have a doctorate in literature, so I'm not a medical doctor, but it does mean that I get way too emotionally invested in the shows that we are watching, so expect lots of tears, because it does happen here. Today, we're reacting to episode 9 of season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Last episode, we saw Itadori arriving at a cinema where two boys have died, and there's a new figure with him that has a really funky tie and blonde hair. And also the curse from the previous episode with Ghetto in the tropical beach area is there. And then some teenage boy witnessed what he was doing and then ran after him out of like curiosity. And then the curse was like, wait, you can see me. So I feel like he's interested in him because of the fact that he can see him. I feel like this is going to be a plot point that develops over time, but I want to know who this like mysterious figure with Itadori is. If you hear a noise in the background, I'm going to try and like mute the noise as much as I can. It is creeping up in temperature in the UK, and if you're from America, you're going to sit and tell me that it's not hot. That's fine. But here in the UK, it is hot. Our houses do not have air conditioning. Air conditioning units are ridiculously expensive. And even if I wanted one, I couldn't have one because I have an indoor only cat and you have to put it out the window, or at least like, I think the hose bit has to go out the window, and I can't do that in case my cat gets out. Air conditioning is not an option. I have a fan because I am filming, so I have my PC running, 2 lights, and it's very intensive, so it gets very hot in here very quickly. So I kind of have been trying to hold off on filming until it's a little bit cooler, but I'm gonna have to suck it up because it's only gonna get warmer. I hate filming May through to August. It's rough, especially for me, who is not able to control my temperature because of sertraline. So sertraline gang rise up, which is not fun by any means, but we ball and we do the best that we can do. But without further ado, I'm going to jump into episode 9 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I've been so excited. This is like my favorite time of the week to film, is my shonen weekends. Oh!
翼は土でけえから走るとバインバイン。気持ちはわかるぜ、吉野。
So it's okay when they say it, but it's not okay if he looks. This was the kid chasing after the curse, right? Oh, okay. That's why he's interested. Do we have a villain? Ooh. Somebody that feels neglected, ignored, is being bullied, wants everyone he doesn't like to die, finally sees a curse that can do it, and wants to emulate that power. No wonder he ran after him. Is this going to be a rival for Itadori? Be kind of funny if the curse kills them because they're annoying. The curse wants to watch the movie, so it's like, fuck these students. But it would make sense as to why he wasn't killed. Why are you encouraging this? What a pick me. Yeah, pick me, bitch. I'm glad he stood up for himself, though. He was right. Oh.
そうね。
マナーは守ろうね。
Oh, that's why. Ah! I mean, I feel like we've all been there. People just being rude, and you're just like, you know what? I would. Oh, fuck.
なんだこれ
He has everything you want.
さっきの人
Is he going to be like a counter to
人にできる
Itadori?
のか
So, as in, we have Itadori who ate a curse object, kind of essentially then became a vessel for Schooner, but has decided to use the abilities to help others and to live a good life. Whereas now we have this young teenager who is bullied, picked on, feels invisible, wants to take out his frustration on those that have made him feel small, has now witnessed somebody with intense power, knows that it's not just a regular person, that no regular person could do this, pursues them, and then may end up being trained to use cursed power so he can work alongside them to fulfill their mission. And maybe ends up having a showdown with Itadori at some point because they feel very similar in terms of like the different ways that both of them could have gone. I'm not saying they're identical, but there's definitely similarities in terms of their age that both of them kind of get thrust into this world unexpectedly. Neither of them were born into it, but both of them seek it out, even if it's for different reasons. So similar path, but how they're going to behave obviously is very different to each other. One's going to be malevolent and one's not going to be. So I'm excited to see if this becomes sort of a villain to Itadori, that Itadori has to focus on taking him down. I don't know, but I feel like they're kind of setting up that premise.
できたとしてそれは本当に人なのか
やったのが俺ならどうする？責める？彼らは君にとって特別だった？
No, they bullied him.
かわいそうなっちゃってんじゃん。
Jesus Christ, that's foul. I feel as if
僕にも
we're going to empathize with him and we're going to feel bad for him, but then he's going to go on and do things that were like, what the fuck?
被害者は高校生と見られるです。あいつら何者ですか？なんで鑑識より先に現場上げるんです？しかも一人はガキだったでしょ。
Don't question it. It's fine.
見て見ぬふりしとけ。この仕事で定年退職したいならな。
見えますか？これが呪力の残影です。
いや全然見えない
それは見ようとしないからです。術式を行使すれば痕跡が残る。それが残影。だが残影は呪霊などに比べ薄い。
So you have to really look for
よ
it.
ーく見てください。
So this is all just a learning lesson for Itadori. Ah, there we go.
見る前に気配で悟って一人前ですから。
He's like, fine, rub it in.
褒めもけなしもしませんよ。事実に即し、己を律する。
I like this guy.
社会も同様であると勘違いしていた時期もありましたが、その話はいいでしょう。追いますよ。
There was a time he believed that
そこそこで済むなら
the
そこ
world
そこ
operated that way.
行きましょう。
Okay, interesting. So he believed that the world operated on logic and facts, but then his mind was changed. I wonder if we'll then get his backstory as to what disillusioned him to thinking that the world operated in the same way as his mind does. Was it the introduction to curses and what curses can do, or was it solely something was judged unfairly and with bias that there was kind of no logic to it, and he's kind of been disillusioned to expect anyone to act in the same way as him? I'm excited to know more, snazzy tie guy.
今回僕は引率できなくてね。でも安心して信用できる後輩呼んだから。脱サラ呪術師の七海健人君です。
そ
Nanami,
の言い方やめてください。
ex-salesman.
呪術師って変なやつ多いけど、こいつは会社勤めてただけあってしっかりしてんだよね。
If Gojo trusts him, I trust him.
グラさん目隠してる人多いな脱サラって なんで初めから呪術
Oh,
師にならなかったんですか
salaryman. I thought they said salesman.
まずは挨拶でしょう。はじめまして、虎杖君。
Is salaryman just a fancy word for like office worker or?
呪術師はクソということです。
あ
そして一般企業で働き気づいたことは、労働はクソということです。
Oh, he's such a
同じク
mood.
ソならより適性のある方を。出戻った理由なんてそんなもんです。
暗いね。
It's facts though.
私はこの人を信用しているし信頼している。でも尊敬はしてません。上のやり口は嫌いですが、私
Gertrude's
はあ
like,
くま
hold
で
up
否
a
定側です。
second.
要するに、私もあなたを術師として認めていない。スクナという爆弾を抱えていても、己は有用であるとそう示すことに尽力してください。
Oh, he interests me. I like Nanami.
でも俺は強くなるよ。強くなきゃ死に方さえ選べねえからな。
Oh, Gojo seems really proud of him.
もうちょい待っててよ。
いえ、私ではなく上に行ってください。ぶっちゃけ私はどうでもいい。
はいはい。
Oh, I love him.
監視カメラには何も映
Oh,
ってな
he's
かったんだよね。
ace.
ええ、被害者以外は少年が1名のみです。
じゃあ犯人は呪霊？
あの少年がやった可能性もなくはないですが、そちらの身元特定は警察。
Ooh.
ストップ。こちらは私が片付けます。虎杖君はそちらのもう一体を。
Oh, the one we didn't even see.
勝てないと判断したら呼んでください。
ちょっと舐めすぎじゃない俺のことは。
舐める舐めないの話ではありません。私は大人で君は子供。私には君を自分より優先する義務があ
How
り
did
ま
the
す。
rules and logic of the
ガキ
world?
扱いなら舐められた方が良かったよ。
But you are a kid
君は
though.
いくつか視線を超えてきた。でもそれで大人になったわけじゃない。枕元の抜け毛が増えていた。お気に入りの惣菜パンがコンビニから姿を消したり、そういう小さな絶望の積み重ねが
Make you an adult.
人を大人にするのです。
I can relate. Oh my god, he's so cool. I have a new favorite. It is him. I just love him. His attitude is so funny.
私の術式はどんな相手にも強制的に弱点を作り出すことができます。7対3。対象の長さを線分したとき、この比率の点に攻撃を当てることができればクリティカルヒット。私より格上の者にもそれなりのダメージを与えることができますし、呪力の弱いものであれば、その生倉でも両断できます。
Oh wow. Athletic.
バレても問題のない術式、問題のない相手、またはバラすことでミスリード。
呪いに集中したいけど、話は聞かなきゃダメっぽい。
手の内を晒すという縛りが術式効果を底上げするのです。こんな風に。
Ooh. Oh, the music is so good. He's effortless.
私からは以上です。
Okay, but that was kind of hot.
よそ見は感心しませんね。
話しかけたの誰？
Gotta learn to pay attention in different directions.
ユージの呪力はさ、遅れてやってくるね。
I thought he said he doesn't disparage. Or was that
呪
Gojo?
力が追いつ
It
いて
was
ない
Gojo.
呪力をとどめる技術も未熟だから奇跡に残りがち。それが逆に変則的な呪力の流れを作ってる。
Okay, Gojo looks really good though in his like casual clothes.
つまり一度の打撃に二度のインパクトが生まれる。
Okay. I'm not gonna remember any of this. I'm gonna be real honest. It's so much information thrown at you in like such a short space of time.
ケイテイケ。
かっこいい。
なかなか狙ってできることじゃない。これは大きな武器になる。
Look at him go!
衝撃が少ない呪力ながら、 波の術師の 120% 成立している。そこに流れ込んでくる本命の呪力。やられる方は想像以上に嫌でしょうね。100% の体術に 100% の呪力を乗せられるようになれば、あの人が連れてきただけあるわけだ。
Oh.
失礼。今とどめを。虎杖君、とどめは待ってください。これを見てください。
ん？
私の相手を撮影しました。
呪霊ってこういうの映んないんじゃん。
私たちが戦っていたのは、
They're humans?
人間だよ。
Yes.
いや、元人間と言った方がいいかな。映画館の3人と同じだな。呪術で体の形を無理やり変えられてる。
No, that makes so much sense because do you not remember there was the episode where Itadori was fighting, was it episode 3? Episode 2 or episode 3? And the curse kept talking about, like, do you need a receipt? And then this one was talking about laundry detergent, and then the other one was talking about lunchbox. So they're repeating human words, whereas we've seen that other curses can, like, talk normally, like these curses are special grade, or what they classify as special grade curses, and they have like a proficiency for speech, like they can actually communicate, whereas these are like jumbled words because their bodies have been altered by a curse technique, so they're kind of latching on to maybe like the only phrase that they can audibly communicate. That's fucked. But no, that makes so much sense.
私たちが戦った二人には呪霊のように呪力がみなぎ
But
ってい
they're
た。
not curse
そればっ
spirits.
かりは犯人に術式のことを聞くしかないな。ただ脳幹のあたりにいじられた形跡がある。おそらく意識障害、錯乱状態を作り出すためだろう。脳までいじれるなら呪力を使えるように人間を改造することも可能かもしれん。
That's
そう
wild.
だ。虎杖は聞いてるか？
あ、うっす。
こいつらの死因はざっくり言うと、体を改造させられたことによるショック死だ。君が殺したんじゃない。そのあたり履き違えるなよ。
Oh, well, that's some comfort. It's still shit, though.
どっちもさ、俺にとっては同じ重さの他人の死だ。
You couldn't have known.
それでもこれは趣味が悪すぎだろ。
この子は他人のために本気で怒れるのだな。あの残影自体ブラフで私たちは誘い込まれたのでしょう。相当なやり手です。
To throw them off the
これは
scent.
そこそこでは済みそうにない。気張っていきましょ
う。おう！
特級仮想怨霊。そう呼ばれる呪霊がいる。呪霊は人間から漏出した呪力の集合体。実在しなくとも共通認識のあるイフのイメージは強力な呪いとなって顕現しやすい。有名な妖怪や怪談ってことですか？そう。トイレの花子さんとかキュービの陽子とかいろいろ。
So can they modify
仮
him?
想怨霊として登録し警戒してる。正体不明の強力な呪いもとりあえず仮想怨霊としてカテゴライズするあたり、それしか見えてないって感じだよね。でも人々が常に恐れているのはそんなおとぎ話じゃないだろ。
Yes.
天才とか
And bullies and
君との会話は
losing your
ストレスがなくて
job
助かるよ。
and
いや
inflation. You know? Everyday fears.
人々は大地を、森を、海を恐れてきた。それらに向けられた呪力は大きすぎるがゆえに、形を得る前に知恵をつけ、今まで息を潜めていたんだ。真人さんは何の呪いなんですか？人間。
I was going to say the fear of people.
俺は人が人を憎み、恐れた腹から
Because if their
生まれた
nature,
呪いだよ。
then this has got so intense so quickly.
映画館にいた少年吉野純平。彼は被害者と同じ高校の同級生だそうです。監視カメラの映像と佇まいからして彼が呪詛師である可能性は低いと考えていました。
Which would be correct.
悪質な呪術師のことです。手順は伊地知君に任せてあるので二人で吉野純平の調査をお願いします。
An evil jujutsu sorcerer, so a curse user.
ある程度ではなく、もう分かっているんですよね。犯人の居場所。
もちろん、犯人はその気になれば残影なんて残さずに現場を立ち去れるはずです。私たちはまた誘い込まれています。単身乗り込むリスクと虎杖君を連れて行くリスク、前者を選んだまでです。
Oh, because that's what adults do.
なんだみ先生
He's like, what's the hold up?
言い忘れてた。気をつけてね。
虎杖君、私は教職じゃないので先生はやめてください。
じゃあ、ナナミ。
ひっぱたきますよ。
I will slap you. It's like, I'm not a sensei, so don't call me teacher, but also don't call me by my name, because it's not respectful.
ここからは車を降りますよ。
So if they can modify humans into curses, could they modify him into one? Why is it cute? Be gnawing at the bars to get to Gojo.
ナナミ、お出かけしよう。
いえ、遠慮します。
Nanami.
マジで大事な話があるんだって。
それは大変だ。
まだ全然だよ。
He's not gonna leave him alone. Gojo's such a little shitbag. I love Nanami. I just admire his perspective where he's like, being a jujutsu sorcerer is shit, but also working a job is shit, so I'm gonna pick the one that I'm better at. But I do love his logical perspective on how he sees the world, that there's facts that he needs to go by. He won't just jump the gun. He needs to have like facts and information, but also the way in which he fully admits that he already knows the location, but he knows it's a trap. So he doesn't want to put Itadori in danger because his job is to be the adult in this situation. And as much as Itadori doesn't want to be treated as a child, he is a child, and he may be incredibly strong, but he's still learning. He's still trying to master his cursed energy. It is slow on the uptick, so it's kind of better to not put him in a life and death situation, considering he's been in numerous life or death situations so far. So I admire Nanami for that, in that he knows that he can handle whatever's coming his way, but Itadori might not. And can he really focus on the situation if he's worried about Itadori? No. But it also makes sense that he doesn't recognize Itadori as a sorcerer, because he hasn't really proven himself to be one yet, at least not to Nanami, because they know that he is the vessel for Sukuna, but he still has a long way to go in order to prove to people that he's more than just that. And as much as we're rooting for Itadori, we have to remember there are like people in the Jujutsu sorcerers, the higher ups, are actively rooting for his downfall. And we're already continuing to see this trend of disillusionment with the higher ups, not just with Gojo openly speaking out against them and condemning them, but also now Nanami, who chose to step away from it all, is still a sorcerer, but decided that wasn't the life that he wanted to pursue. But Gojo trusts him, and there must be like an element of friendship between the two of them. But you don't always have to respect your friends, and that's fine. Sometimes your friends do shit that you're just kind of like, I can't respect you for that choice. And I feel like that's Nanami and Gojo's kind of dynamic. Gojo went and became a teacher and stayed working as a jujutsu sorcerer, and Nanami is probably like, why did you do that? Like, why the fuck would you commit to this? I think Nanami's quite happy to step away from it all and just say it's shit, but you do you, whereas Gojo's like, it's shit, but I want to change it from the ground up. But the reveal that those cursed spirits weren't actually cursed spirits, they're just humans whose bodies have been modified so that they can use cursed energy, is fucking wild, because we genuinely thought they were. And then it was the moment when they said, oh, but they don't show up in photos, that I was like, wait, hold up a second. Like, my brain was doing the work, and then they just straight up were like, yeah, they're humans. And I was like, whoa. But then it makes sense as to why some of the ones we're seeing make references to really like weird, obscure phrases like detergent, lunchbox. Would you like a receipt with that? So these are people whose bodies have been modified, but their brains are maybe latching on to the last words that they likely said as a human before they were changed. Because there's like an element of confusion and amnesia. So maybe their brains are kind of reverting back to the last thing they remember saying. I don't entirely know, but I'm sure we'll learn more. But poor Itadori, of course, those deaths are going to weigh heavily on him because he has actually killed one without knowing that it was a human modified. And that's not his fault. How could he have known? It was only because of Nanami that they were able to actually learn that. But I love that there's still an element of empathy with Itadori, that he doesn't just shirk it off as, oh, well, I couldn't have known, so it's not my responsibility. Even though he knows that he's not the reason for them dying, he still is going to carry that weight with him going forward. He's going to use it as almost a learning lesson to be more aware that not everything is as it seems, but at the same time, he at least gets a little bit of closure. I'm glad they gave that to him because he is still a teenage boy at the end of the day, and he is going to feel directly responsible even though it wasn't his fault. So I'm glad that they kind of cleared it up. But learning now that the curses we've seen so far are the ones that haven't really been categorized because they don't fall into potential apparitions, because they are sort of real fears that are felt by large groups of people. Well, not even large groups of people, every group of people to exist in the world. So how can you really categorize them as apparitions? Because they're not fairy tale creatures, they're not folklore, they're actual tangible fears that every person has experienced, and it can be to do with natural disasters, or it can be to do with just getting lost in the forest is enough to scare people. In terms of oceans, you could have a fear of drowning. So it's not just connected to natural disasters, but natural disasters are like a good way of looking at it. So I love that he's showing that the classification doesn't always work, because so many people feared the earth, the forest, and the oceans. They have taken a physical form and gained intellect. We have seen earth and we've seen forest, but we haven't seen the ocean one, or at least I don't remember seeing the ocean one. No, we did with Geto in the cafe. No, we did. I'm being silly. But we now have the new formation, a more modern formation, which is, of course, born of humanity's hatred towards each other. Because, again, that's what enticed him into pursuing this curse, is his hatred for other humans. And this desire to have the ability to ensure that he can prevent others from bullying and picking on him again in the future. I feel like he's going to be a really interesting counterpart to Itadori, in that, as I've already mentioned, I'm not going to repeat myself, that they're quite similar in how they come into contact with curses, but one is obviously wanting to use it for malevolent reasons, and the other one wants to use it to help others and benefit the world, but also so that he can choose how he dies in the future and live up to his granddad's words of being surrounded by people that care about him. So it's going to be fascinating to kind of see them come into interaction, but I feel like they're building this guy into potentially being a villain, into being a curse user. I believe that's what they refer to the evil Jujutsu sorcerers as. Whereas we have Itadori that's going to become a Jujutsu sorcerer. We're going to see someone go down the curse user trajectory and how they sort of come into contact with each other. But yeah, I feel like this could be like a long-standing rivalry between the two. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this react, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. Until next episode, bye!